I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Evanoff. As always, welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. It is Angel Ortega. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, boys. UFC Vegas 91 to go over, a bunch of news, and Ryan Garcia shocking the world, pulling off the upset, defeating Devin Haney. Before we break into all the news, as always, we are brought to you by two fantastic sponsors of the show, Rogue Energy and ELYXR. Rogue Energy, keep me fueled up no matter where I'm at, whether I'm at the gym or doing the show. They get me to the finish line, and they can help you get there as well with code SOUNDOFF at checkout for 10% off. Code SOUNDOFF, 10% off, all caps. ELYXR. Hey, we just passed 420. I enjoyed some ELYXR Delta 8s, and you can as well with code SOUNDOFF. Once again, all caps for 10% off at ELYXR.com. Links down below. Once again, Rogue Energy and ELYXR. Well, Angel, the UFC had no card last week. They had a layoff after UFC 300, and, you and I talked about that in the green room a little bit. It's fun. It's fun to have a little bit of a break, kind of reminisce, be like, oh, damn, that card was so good. But don't worry. We're back this Saturday night. UFC Apex. Las Vegas, Nevada. The Zuck's going to be there. No.
By the way, do you think if we clipped every time you said coming from the UFC Apex or in the UFC Apex since 2020, that could be an hour long of you saying that, or over an hour long?
And I wish, because we're just now filming the episodes, I wish we had filmed in person the whole time, so that way you could see the degradation process of just because at first I was in 2020, I'm like, oh yeah, UFC Apex this Saturday. 2024, it's like UFC Apex this Saturday. Fuck, dude. Although to be fair, there is no fucking way. And normally I'm like, they could put this fight card in an arena and sell it out just because the UFC brand's so popular.
They could do it if they put it in Montana.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know, dude. They're busy fucking doing other things in Montana, I would assume. Because this card there's some good fights. I'll say that up front. But I think on paper, this is probably one of the worst ones they've had of all time. I mean, I think if you look back, especially partially because of the headliner as well, and I you know me, I love the flyweights, one of my favorite weight classes, but I mean, this is a short notice main event. Neither one of these guys really, I mean, maybe they'll break through, but I mean, just kind of a lacking fight card. But we will start off in the main event. I'll go ahead and show them some respect. Matheus Nicolau coming back here, ranked number 5, I believe, in the UFC flyweight division. We know the story with him. I believe he's supposed to fight Manel Cape here. Pulled out. He was previously supposed to fight him again, actually. And Cape missed weight by 3.5 pounds a couple months back. Matheus Nicolau has not been seen since fighting in the greatest city on planet Earth, Kansas City. Suffering a first-round knockout loss to the Raw Dog, Brandon Royval, in a title eliminator. Prior to that, he was on a fucking tear. He left the UFC after 2018 whenever they were getting rid of the flyweight division. Won a couple in Brave CF. Came back. Beat Cape. Beat Tim Elliott. Beat David Dvorak, knocked out Matt Schnell in a banger before losing to Brandon Royval. But don't worry, he's coming back to face former title challenger, which weird to say, former title challenger Alex Perez, who coming in here on short notice needs this one bad. He got the title shot back in 2020, won 3 in a row, 2 of those by stoppage. Since then, he lost to Davidson Figueiredo by first round submission in that flyweight title fight. Got murked by Pantoja in a minute and a half. Then lost to Muhammad Mokaev in a very competitive fight. I'll give him credit. That was a good fight for him earlier this year in March. As we know, he's also had a shit ton of canceled fights in the last 4 years. Kind of a must-win for Alex Perez heading into Saturday. What do you make of this 5-round flyweight main event?
Well, look, for me, I thought Matheus Nicolau was going to beat Royval when he came to Kansas City. Ended up shocking me. But granted, Royval, even then, he since then has continued to shock us with his win over Moreno. But granted, there was some weird stuff in that fight for me personally, in the way how Moreno looked and how Moreno fought. But at the same time, that's also the Raw Dog, man. He just comes in and brings it to you no matter what. He's one of those guys that's always going to be dangerous. But Nicolau, I mean, at one point, dude, 1 fight away from being in that kind of title contending position. Even prior to 125, potentially going away, he was still gaining a few good victories in there. He had some solid wins behind them. obviously he was on that 125 tough season that we all know about with all the, and a lot of those guys. It's kind of crazy. A lot of those guys, pretty much every one of them, have found some level of success even after that. Granted, I mean, there's a reason they brought those guys in. They were all champs in their own organization, so it makes sense why they all found some level of success from there on. For Alex Perez, I mean, it's been 2 years between every fight, except this one. First time in 4 years where there isn't a 2-year gap between fights.
He's back.
He's back, goddammit. And look, I give him a great chance of winning this fight. He didn't take a lot of damage in his last fight, if any at all, really. You know, he got out grappled most of the fight. Nicolau, obviously tough on the feet. You know, decent in scrambles, I'd say. I don't know, like I'll put it like this. I won't be shocked if Alex Perez wins. I think this is really a coin toss fight for me. I'm not as sure if I'd go 100% one way or the other way. Maybe I'll lean Nicolau just because I feel like he's gonna, you know, he's a younger guy leaning in.
Currently pulling up the betting odds as we speak, by the way, just because I'm curious on this one.
I feel like he's just on the verge of breaking through too. Like he's just on the verge of breaking in at 125. Like he's one big fight away from being there in the mix with the top 3 guys.
Yeah, in case you guys are curious, according to MGM, not sponsored, but I wish sponsored by MGM. Maybe if they want to go and hit us up, or anybody, honestly, I'll go ahead. Feel free to hit us up.
But specifically, if any betting sponsor would love to contact us.
If anybody, Josh, I would, no, I'm not gonna. You guys can find my email business. It's on all my socials. But anyways, yeah, I mean, according to MGM, Nicolau -190, Alex Perez coming back is a +155, basically a less than a 2-1 favorite here. Very close odds. I'm in agreement with you. It feels like Nicolau's kind of on the verge of breaking out. I wouldn't have picked him if he fought Cape again. In fact, that was one of the worst robberies of all time. It's an underrated pick. Their first time that they fought. I'm going to take Nicolau. I would not be surprised at all if Alex Perez won. I think he's a very talented guy. I thought he fought Matheus close, which not a lot of guys have been able to do. I mean, some guys have stayed close to him, but they'll end up being taken over late. He was with him for all 3 rounds. Very close fight. I'm going to take Nicolau, though. Alex Perez coming in here on short notice, too. I mean, it's a tough ask for him, you know. But yeah, I mean, so we're in agreement there. I mean, this fight, I mean, no offense to either one of these guys, but the flyweight division's in a really weird place. I don't think either one of these guys would get a title shot with a win. Maybe Nicolau, if some shit like...
If there's another Steve Ursig situation, maybe they do it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's more than likely. I mean, you would just assume that Matheus would be next. But then again, they didn't even give Matheus the shot over Steve Ursig. So
yeah, and at the same time, look at this division. A lot of the rising guys are really low. Can you actually pull up the 125 division right now?
I knew I was forgetting. Because
I can't even think of who else behind Matheus is coming up in the rankings. Like I know there's young guys.
I mean, I know that we got Tatsuro, I believe, coming up.
But he's a good distance away.
He's not. Yeah, he's 13. Okay. Stu Montegeri's 15.
But he's gonna be out of commission. He's had a rough loss.
So then we got Steve Ursig, number 10.
Oh wait, we forgot Amir Albazi, dude.
You're right. My bad.
I mean, he's one fight away from it. If not, they could have just gave it to him.
They could have given it to him, but I think that Kai Kara that was pretty bad.
But I mean, who else are you gonna give it to right now, though?
Yeah, you're not wrong. In that fight, it's a good time to be Matheus Nicolau, though, and Alex Perez. They're 1 week away from that fight. So if you make a big statement here, heading into the card, he's like, oh, shit. You know, if Alex Perez murks him, it's like, oh, damn, okay. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm assuming one of the... I mean, maybe a rematch with Royval if Nicolau wins. Yeah. Maybe we'll get an Amir Albazi, Brandon Royval in the Sphere, you know?
Oh, I like that
one out there, you know? Because from the looks of it, we don't know when Brandon Moreno's going to come back.
No.
Did we even talk about that on the show, that he was stepping away from her a little while?
I think we did a little bit, but not much. So, I mean, if you want to go and give your thoughts on that, I mean, he's not going to, going to be coming back for a while.
I mean, I'm assuming he's going to take the whole year off. I mean, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And it's been championship fight after championship fight, so I can't blame the guy.
And it's rare to see a guy admit that, like, yeah, like, I'm worn out. You know what I mean? Like, I need some time off.
Respect.
It's pretty rare to see. But, yeah, I mean, Moreno's a dog. Hopefully he'll come back soon. But, yeah, I mean, the flyweight's in a fun place. You know what I mean? Dude, hey, man. Astro Boy gonna shake up the world next week, buddy. He's gonna fucking do it. I don't care.
I mean, he could. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, anything's possible in the sport.
Yeah, I mean,
would that be one of the biggest surprises ever in championship? Has there ever been another Steve Ursig in any championship fight?
I mean, there's Steve Ursigs all the time, just not this low. You know what I mean? So he's a pretty big dog. Not massive, but still a pretty big.
But I'm saying, can you think of another fight, like a championship
just
fight where there was
right place?
No, where there was like a Steve Ursig type, like really like, I mean, Steve Ursig just barely broke into the rankings. I think he only has like 3 UFC fights, if that.
Correct. Three as of now.
And it's not like he came into this division, into this promotion with any kind of like hype or anything behind it. Like I had seen Steve Erceg like randomly clicking through Tapology, and I looked over him. I didn't really think much of him. I didn't even know if he was ever going to get to the UFC at that.
Yeah.
But can you think of another guy who's a Steve Erceg type in your time of watching the sport, Josh?
Literally, I mean, it's funny because no, you can't even use. I was gonna say fucking Joe Soto, because Joe Soto came in. I think he had 1 fight, and it might have even been a loss, but then he fought for the title against TJ because I think Renan Barão like fucked himself up during fight week. So then they were like, "Hey, Joe Soto, you want to fight TJ Dillashaw on 2 days' notice?" But even then, that's like 2 days' notice, you know what I mean, type of thing. So that's like that just doesn't work. You know
I mean, granted, they kind of got Erceg on short notice too.
Oh yeah, I mean, but it's still like 4 weeks.
Wait, what?
2 days.
I mean, this was this. I don't even think this was a title fight, but I'm thinking about it now. Fucking whoever got replaced by Ally Quentin versus Habib.
Oh, Ally, but Al had been in the UFC for like 4 years.
That's it. That's the other thing too.
Like you can find guys who stepped up on, like Sean Strickland stepped up on like I don't even know how long notice, like fucking.
Yeah, but also Sean was actually like highly ranked, had several high profile.
Yeah, but it was like a 2-fight winning streak, and he was like ranked number 6 or whatever. So it was like.
But it's not even comparable to her.
It's not even comparable because Steve Erceg's number 10. He's beaten 1 ranked guy,
and he came in on short notice to fight David Dvorak in Canada.
Yeah, I mean he beat.
I think it was Canada. I could be wrong about that.
Let me see. Yes, sir. British Columbia.
Hey, how about that?
Yeah, I mean he beat David Dvorak. He beat Alessandro Costa. Excuse me. Knocked deaded match now.
Yeah, he's beat 2 ranked opponents.
Yeah,
then,
so 2. I was wrong, not 1. But yeah, I mean, and he's looked good. I mean, I don't even have a problem with him getting the fight. I was actually calling for it. I'm like, yeah, dude, fucking.
But it's so
give a guy a shot.
It's so random. It's so out of the blue. It's so.
We should stop previewing because that's literally a week away. But like, yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, we're just talking about the circumstance of the fight.
Yeah. Well, and also it's the flyweight division as a whole. So yeah, I mean, and also it helps that flyweight's just a really weird weight class. Like they have like, there's like every division has this, right? You have the stars and you have everybody else. But flyweight, there has never been a more bigger difference. You know what I mean? It's like, who's a star?
It was Moreno and Davison.
Moreno and Davison. Davison's gone. Moreno's gone now.
At the moment.
But fine, we'll include him. Fine. Moreno's still a star. Pantoja's not a star, but I think he's getting there. I think especially the war he had with Moreno.
And let's clarify, this is for the division. We're not talking about the promotion. Because I think that's a different topic. I think if we're talking promotion, if you had to pick a guy, it'd probably be Moreno.
Yeah, exactly. But even then, it's like, okay, so you have those 2 guys as stars.
Then it's everybody else.
It's even a guy like Brandon Royval who is entertaining as fuck. Like I can just tell you guys, like I'll do like pieces about certain guys to see, and you can see who picks up traffic and who doesn't.
But if you're a diehard, that's probably the only way you know about Royval.
Exactly.
Respectfully.
I mean, I don't even know who you put as like number 3. Maybe Makayev or Kai Kara France.
It's like the young guys, but they all fall into the same kind
Tim
of
Elliott's
category.
Been around. Yeah.
But you know what I mean, though? They end up falling in the same category, the same bowl. The Joshua Vans, the Tatsuo Tairas, the Muhammad Kai. Like, they're all really close and starting. Maybe Makayev a little higher than those guys.
By the way, Makayev, I'm sorry to cut you off, but apparently he called out, I guess, Joshua Vans.
He just wants to fight, bro.
He just wants to fight. And
dude, people would be like, why are you trying? I'm like, dude, who gives a fuck? He's trying to fight.
Give him a fight, man. And by the way, Joshua Van, love that guy. You know what I mean?
He's so young, though. He's like 22, 23.
Yeah, I think they should wait to make that. But that dude, flyweight, I don't know why.
They need to build
so much youth.
They need to build up that youth in that division still. I don't know how. Like, we've talked about what the UFC could do, and they're not going to do it. And I hate talking about it because it's like, it's not going to happen. Yeah. Because we mentioned that there's a way where you can actually make the Apex work. They're just not making it happen. Yeah.
Well, they could. So the WWE is going to run a show. I'm not sure if you heard about this.
Oh my God,
the WWE is going to run a NXT show. NXT, if you guys don't know, I'm not going to spend. You guys are actual combat fans. I'm not going to waste your guys' time with this.
It's like real fights.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to waste your guys' time with this too much, but I'm a fucking nerd, so I'll do it a little bit. So they announced they're going to have an NXT show. NXT is like their developmental show, and they're going to put it at the UFC Apex.
Am I going to see Lola Vice?
Fucking Bellator veteran Lola Vice. Anyways, yeah, dude. So they're gonna run that show in like June, and from what I've already heard, they're already planning on building out seating, and they're gonna do it up. They're actually gonna make it interesting. It's like, dude,
you know what I think they should just do too? If they're gonna keep doing. Why don't they just make their own arena in Vegas?
That's what's so fucking infuriating, because that's what the Apex is. Like
but they should just make it bigger though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't. Like they put in those little seats, and it's like, okay, that's a start. And then they're like, actually, you know what? We're gonna take those away half of those nights. It's like, why, dude? Like, why?
Because
Like,
we're gonna give them to Fighter Family, which is okay. I get it, right?
Well, dude, and here's the funniest part about that too. So they're giving those seats out to Fighter Family, but those seats are only applicable for when they're fighting. So basically, they have to get the fuck out as soon as they're done fighting.
Which is so weird.
I mean, it makes sense, dude. Remember that time they kicked out Johnny Walker right after he won a fight
Oh,
in his fucking without shoes? They don't give a fuck. But yeah, I mean, the UFC Apex is just so fucking lame. I mean, I'm not gonna waste time on this anymore, but you guys know my thoughts on it. They can run small shows in Vegas, dude. Like they literally can. Like if fucking Invicta can put in people in Memorial Hall, Kansas, you know what I mean? They can find a small venue in Vegas, you know what I mean? It's like
and renovate it.
Yeah, and that's even if they don't want to do the Apex. Like just throw in some fucking seats. If the WWE's gonna do it, you can do it. You know what I mean? So
they got the money.
They have the money. It's just frustrating. And it's not like they have any fucking fighter lawsuits to worry about. You know what I mean?
All right.
Like, I'm never gonna talk about fighter pay ever again. I've like after that, I'm like, I don't give a shit. You guys figure it out. I'm done helping you out. You know. Anyways, we'll move down because this card, some rough fights, but this one should actually be a banger for however long it lasts. Ryan Spann taking, maybe not a banger, should be fun though. Ryan Spann, Superman Spann, who's had mixed success, 32 years old now, suffered 2 losses in a row, lost a split decision to Anthony Smith in a rematch, actually coming back to face Anthony Smith's twin, Bogdan Guskov, in the co-main event here, 3 rounds. Guskov, I believe, 1-0 in the UFC as of now. Big opportunity here.
I think Bogdan is actually 1-1.
He's 1-1. I think you're right.
He lost his
debut. Yeah.
He lost his debut against Volkan, and then he beat.
Yep.
I can't remember who it was in his second fight.
Zach Pauga knockout. Yeah, you're right.
Zach Pauga, which is weird how he's ended up in these like decently high profile fights. I'm saying because Ryan Spann, ranked fighter, I believe, is not close to the rankings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so Volkan was just short notice.
Volkan was short notice, but it's still the fact that they even gave him the opportunity to do that is a complete unknown.
God, look at that fucking guy, man. He really is a lot like Anthony Smith. Like if you
he's a killer too, bro.
If you just squinted your eyes and you look at that fucking thing, it's like
if you look from far away.
Exactly. Anyways, yeah, he has gotten some high profile fights. Knocked Zach Pauga out of the UFC, so
yeah,
big opportunity for him, man. I mean, this one should be fun. Who do you got here,
dude? I want some new blood in the division. Give me Bogdan Guskov, dude, to get this victory knockout, baby. It's not going to go another way.
Let's go. Yeah.
I mean, Ryan Spann's an interesting guy. He's one of those guys that, he could always show up and get a guy out of there, but he's also one of those guys that can definitely go in there and get outclassed.
Yeah. He is one of the most inconsistent guys I can think of at 205.
And he's ranked, and it's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, he's number 11 too, dude. I mean, if you look back at, okay, so we can just look back at his run, right? Signing Contender Series 2018. Won 4 in a row, including friend of the show Sam Alvey, split decision, which I actually thought he lost that fight, remember correctly. Beat Devin Clark, knocked out Little Nog, got annihilated by Johnny Walker, knocked out Serkinov, got worked by Anthony Smith in that first fight. That was embarrassing. I mean, it's not too many times you see a guy get sunned like that. I mean, he knocked him down.
Damn, Josh.
I mean, yeah, that's one of my favorite Apex moments, dude. It's one of the few times the Apex was like fun. He knocked him down 3 times and then submitted him.
They had beef too afterwards, right?
Yeah, and he was like, we're talking that shit, Anthony, because Anthony didn't want to. He was working him, dude. It wasn't even close. I was like, you know what? You go with it. You talk that shit, dog. Anyways, comes back, beats Cutelaba, chokes him out inside of a round, murders Dominic Reyes on live television, and then loses to Krylov, and then loses a very competitive fight to Smith, which a lot of people thought he won. I'm gonna take Ryan Spann. I think he's a more proven guy, but at the same time, I just went through his whole record, dude. He is very inconsistent.
Just you ready. Be ready, Josh.
He's gonna go 0-3 against Anthony Smith this Saturday, dude. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I would not be surprised at all if Bogdan, pulled it off. Seems like he got good power. Seems relatively well-rounded. You know what I mean?
It was dangerous.
I'm gonna throw some money on Ryan Spann's sub. I think that could be fun.
That's definitely not happening.
I don't know, man. He's got a good guillotine, and Volkan submitted him, right? I can't remember if he lost to Volkan by sub or knockout. I just know it was a stoppage. Let's pull it up. I may have just accidentally stumbled on the best submission round 1. Hey, that's all I'm saying. If Volkan could do it, we'll see. Anyways, man. Rest of the card, I mean,
Josh, all I'm gonna say is if Volkan fought Ryan Spann, I don't know how that fight would go.
That's actually, honestly, that's a low key banger.
You think so? I think Volkan would probably work Ryan Spann.
I got a really soft spot for Volkan, dude. That first 3 or 4 fights when he came in and he was just booping everybody. You know what I mean?
Booping.
Yeah. I don't know what you call it.
And then he fought DC.
Yeah, man. We all have we all have rough nights at the office. You know what I mean? That only happens.
We all don't have all-star performances every night.
That was a weird. But you know what's funny is he deserved that. He deserved that fucking fight. People forget, man. He beat like the top 3 guys in the top 5 in the span of like 6 months or some shit. But which shows you where 205 was. But anyways, we'll go on to talk Vegas 91. We got, I mean, in terms of good fights on the main card, JSP, Jonathan Pierce, David Onama,
banger.
They're gonna get fight of the night. I'd be very shocked if it went any other way.
This is gonna push themselves. Both these guys are gonna get pushed to their limits in this fight. I believe so.
Yeah, JSP turning into one of those guys I never thought was gonna do anything, but he's stuck around. He's put on fun fights. He's made a name for himself. Happy for him.
I think he's coming off a loss, right? Can you double check that?
I believe so. I can't remember against who.
I think it's the vet. I could be wrong.
Joe Anderson Brito.
Joe Anderson Brito, the guy who prevented Diego Lopez from coming into UFC in their first time in the Contender Series.
He's a dog, too. Yeah, so he beat... Man, what a run by him, man. That's a good-ass run, though. I forgot how good it was. Yeah, so he lost to Joe Anderson Brito.
I was shocked when he lost that fight.
Yeah, me too. Darren Elkins knocked out Malcolm Americani, beat Christian Rodriguez, another good win. Submitted Omar Morales, and then sent Kai Kamaka packing from the UFC.
At the same time, though, let's put into context, Christian Rodriguez did fight up a weight class for this one. Wasn't competing at 125. Fight at 135. 135 or catch weight. I could be wrong for that one.
According to this one, it's just 145. As far as the weight class. That's featherweight. But regardless, fighting up a weight class.
Fighting up 2 weight classes. Right? Because hasn't he competed at flyweight too?
I swear, he might have competed at flyweight at one point, but I swear to God, he's a bantamweight.
Is he a lifetime bantamweight? Can we double check that? I could have sworn he fought at flyweight at one point. Maybe initially in his career.
Let's see. Featherweight. Fights out of Rufus Sports. Shout out Duke Rufus, shout out CM Punk. No, the Tapology page just fucking.
Oh, no, we got it.
Oh, all right. Looks like it bounces around. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I know I'm not crazy.
Yeah, he fought at bantamweight a lot, missed weight a couple times. Let's see back here. Where did he start his career? It's a catch weight at 140. Bantamweight, featherweight. He just bounces around a lot from what I could tell. Catch weight again, 140. Bantamweight, but missed weight. Has he ever actually made bantamweight?
Shit, he missed weight against Rosas. You see that right there?
Yeah, he's missed weight. He had catch weight at 150. He's fought at 150 before. Man, so he fights at bantamweight. He's never once made bantamweight though. That's actually crazy. So he's just holy shit. No wonder you didn't remember, dude. He's fucking fought.
I was gonna say, I knew there was something there with the weight classes. I just didn't know what. That's why I was like, has he got as low as 125?
No, he's fought 135, 140, 145, 150, 155. According goddamn. Anyways, that's gonna be a banger. Yeah, man. I mean, what else?
I mean, Team Main's Uros Medic as a fucking opener is a banger.
The Dirty Bird, man. Coming back. That's gonna be fun.
Been a while since he's fought too, right?
Yeah, and I believe he's actually shout out Oklahoma native.
By the way, he has to be close to retirement, right? Like, there's no way.
I could see him being a Jim Miller type. I really could,
dude.
I'm actually
by the way,
same age.
A shocking win to Andre Fiallo. I did not expect him to
in a banger
to top it off. You're not wrong. Fuck, they had so much hope for Andre.
Dude, he doesn't. Man, he really doesn't get the credit for being around. I mean, it says a lot. I was about to say compare him to Jim Miller, but Jim Miller has been so Tim Means is 12 years deep, over 12 years deep in this run. Jim Miller has 6 years on him. He's been in the UFC since 2006.
Chad,
just so fucking big,
so close to being in the sport 20 years, or in the UFC 20 years. I should say.
What a fucking dog.
He'll probably be the only guy to be in the UFC ever that long.
I think so. But yeah, dude, Tim Means. I really hope he picks that one up, man. I love me some Dirty Bird. Austin Lane coming back here. I mean, good luck to him. Ariane Lipsky coming back. My girl taking on Karine Silva should be fun on the main. I mean, that'll be a fight that happens.
Ronnie Yaya, the guy that I wanted Cody Garbrandt to fight, because that fight was supposed to happen, didn't end up happening, if I remember right.
The ageless wonder, Ronnie Yaya. Yeah, man. He's coming off a loss, but look, still 39 years old, having success. Taking on Victor Henry. You and I pointed this one out before we started filming. Banger. Very excited for that fight.
Should be a fun grappler's delight if they do take it to the ground. I think Victor Henry does have a good ground game, underrated ground game, I'd say.
First time for Victor Henry since his balls got demolished. So first fight back.
Who was that against?
That was against. if Wikipedia will load real quick. It was against Javid Basharat.
Yeah, that one was a tough one.
Yeah, he's had an interesting UFC run.
I mean, he's older. He kind of had to come in and take pretty hard fights off the bat. I mean, there wasn't a lot of time to build up, but he's a good fighter.
Yeah, I agree. Austin Hubbard coming back here should be fun. Dontel Mays, Caio Machado.
Caio Machado, an interesting guy.
Yeah. Not UC newcomer, but you know what I mean. Young in the UFC is what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And opening up the card is like an actual banger. Like you know,
but it's a good fight to get you in your seat, get you going. Mowgli, Gabriel Benitez versus Mahashate, a guy who I don't even know if he's had a boring fight.
I don't think so, dude. And
has he won all of them? No. But has he fought a lot and made a lot of bangers? Yes. How many fights is that in UFC?
So he came. This is going to be his fourth. He needed to win here, presumably to stay in the UFC. So we'll see. Came in, won a contender series fight, beat a guy named Achilles, which is badass. Knocked out Mean Machine, who, by the way, another
bounce back, right? Can we look at that actually real quick?
Yeah. Then he lost to Rafa Garcia and Borislev.
Well, both really good fighters, though.
Yeah, so coming back here and opening up the card, I mean, it's going to be great. Mean Machine, who's just turned into it. A guy I would never expect. Another guy that I did not expect to have success at all. I mean,
by the way, another fight that shocked me that he won. Yeah, that Mezcal Acosta fight. Did not expect him to win that.
I did not expect him to get out Chase Hooper with the ease either.
I'm pretty sure the Shilan Nurmagomedov fight was a hard fight for him too. Yeah. I think he might have been losing that one until he got to finish.
I believe so.
I could be wrong. That was a little while ago now.
And by the way, this is one of the most underrated fights of all time. Nobody remembers this fight but me. Steve Garcia against Charlie Ontiveros.
Banger.
Dude, these guys, they only fought for like a round and a half. Tried to kill each other for like 7 minutes. Like both guys got rocked. Both guys got bloodied. And it was like they were fighting on like 2x speed, basically. It was like crazy.
He fought Chepe Mariscal? I didn't know that. That had to be outside of the UFC.
Yeah, LFA.
Which that was a fucking banger too.
Lost to Violet. Dude, this motherfucker has been around. Oh my god, I forgot he fought Joe Warren. He fought Joe Warren.
The Joe Warren.
God.
Ricky Tercios. Ronnie Lawrence.
He fought Sean Bunch. Wow. Yeah, dude. Oh my god. I forgot how fucking long he's been around. Pitbull versus Compost. He fought Joe Warren. Oh, Pitbull versus why did I say Pitbull versus Compost? Jesus Christ. Why the fuck what's going on? Dude. But anyways, yeah. Derek Compost, Brandon Gertz. That was a banger.
John Salter on the undercard there too.
It was a fun Bellator card. Emily Ducote, now in the UFC.
Versus Kendall Grove. Holy shit.
The Spider Grove. Yeah, dude.
It's a name I haven't seen in forever.
Rafael Lovato.
A young Valentin Moldavsky on the opening card.
Fight facing Carl Sayumanatafa. I only know him because he fought Matt Mitrione.
Holy shit. Andre Fiallo on there too. Logan Storley. What a card, dude. What
the fuck?
What a walk down memory lane.
Yeah, man, so much. And they had some other fights canceled, too. That's why it was on there. Pitbull Compost was canceled off. That's why the fucking URL said that. Anyways, yeah, so Vegas 91, man. Any closing thoughts?
Holy fuck, dude. I can't wait to get through it.
Yeah, UFC 301. It cannot come fast enough, man. But
I think there will be banger fights. Like, there's like 3 or 4 guys that I think could like make a potential fight of the night, fight of the year if they allow, if they allow it.
Yeah.
Will it happen? Who knows, right? It's up to the guys, obviously. But I'm hopeful, I think there is fights that I'm interested in, but it is definitely lacking.
100%, man. All right. Well, Angel, we got to move on because it happened. The fight happened. I'm not fucking Quasimodo over here. Apparently, I do not know shit about boxing. I'll go and, a lot of guys are like, you know what? I was wrong, but, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say that. I was just wrong. I don't know shit. Ryan Garcia defeats Devin Haney by majority decision Saturday night, New York City. I mean, he knocked him down 3 times. He rocked him with the first left hook he threw 90 seconds into the fight. After that, Devin Haney came back. He even rocked him, I think, at one point. I want to say round 5, and Ryan just did the old, Manny Pacquiao clapped the gloves together. He's like, fuck yeah, let's go. He just crackhead energy through it. And
damn.
And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, hey, man, kids do drugs. It works out, apparently. Yeah, dude, ends up winning. This is what we said going into it. We were both rooting for Ryan Garcia. I mean, you actually picked Ryan Garcia. It's on video. He picked him. He's like, you know what? I got a feeling. The power carried him through. for Maximum Chaos, very happy with this result. What did you make of it on Saturday night?
Dude, what a shit show. What a fucking shit show to get there. And look, I said it on the show. I'm like, he's not going to outbox Devin Haney, which is not what he did.
Yeah.
Let's face it. He brought it to him. He hurt him. He tagged him. That left hook was landing all night, baby.
Yep.
All night. Devin Haney did not know how to get around it. And, it's funny because, like, everybody's like, well, in hindsight and all this. I'm like, guys, like, let's look past the antics a little bit, right? Because I'm like, I'm sure there's a little bit more here going on that we are being led to know. And I said on the show, I mean, these guys have history. They've shared, the amateur ring, 6 times together. It's going to be the 7th time at the professional level. Devin Haney, good guy, but at the same time, even in these, his biggest victory at this point in his career is the Lomachenko win, which was, you could dispute that one a little bit. And even then he had his moments in that, and he was the bigger guy in there. You could see the size difference, had range, whatever, right? The Linares fight, that one didn't come without ease. He got rocked in that one too. Yeah. I remember he was holding on for dear life near the end of that one.
And that was Linares, older Linares too. It's not even,
So I felt like no matter what, look, Devin has his title, but him and Ryan, as far as like where they've been in their career, not that much far apart from each other. Like Luke Campbell, in comparison to some of the guys, I'd say is his Linares, right?
Yeah.
That was his Loma fight was Tank, but different, right?
Yeah.
They went differently in the circumstances and everything, how they worked out for each guy.
In terms of like a step up, you mean?
Yeah, as a step up. Like as far as that's what I'm saying. As far as competition, like they both been very close to each other. It's just that Devin Haney came over a little bit on top. If I believe so, Devin Haney started his pro career a little earlier, went down to Mexico at a young age, built up his record, kind of the typical build up we see. And Bill Haney, has obviously done a great job with his son to the point where he just, the position he's got him in. As far as Ryan, is starring in it himself. A lot of that attention coming through social media. He's the Flash. He's doing all these things. Yep. He's quick. Drama. He's been in the limelight a lot. Personal life, boxing stuff. Everything. Like this kid cannot get away from the cameras. I mean, I think as far as Josh, what other boxer outside of probably like Canelo? And I mean, I'm talking like active boxer has probably gotten as much media attention as Ryan Garcia. I don't think any of these, like Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Tank Davis, even with some of those guys who've had like legal or personal issues. Yeah. I mean, shit, even fucking Teofimo when he was having those problems with I think his mom disapproved of the woman he was marrying.
Yeah, just a bunch of shit. Yeah.
Tank with his legal trouble. I guess Devin's been the only one who's been able to keep his nose out of trouble. Yeah. But Ryan, dude, I mean, literally everything from stuff with his girlfriend to him, maybe doing, seeing the other girls who he, was interested in at the time. That shit was on TMZ or the Hollywood Fix or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
The drama with Canelo, the drama with, whatever.
The drama with Oscar. The drama with Oscar. His old trainer, I can't remember.
Yeah. Like all of that. Like, dude, I just want to give this kid a moment of like, look, like, I think he can do something, and he did, and he's the one that out of the young pack that has always kind of been pushed back a little bit. So it was nice to see him break through a little bit and get this one, because I knew that he had that ability to make something happen, and he fucking did. Now, granted, he came in, didn't make fucking weight, but he did that on purpose. It's not like he went in there knowing like, shit, I don't know if I'm not or might make it or not make it. He went in there damn well knowing I'm not gonna make the fucking weight. I'm going to fucking fight on my terms, know? And he went there and did that. He fought on his fucking terms in every aspect of the fight. Yeah. Promotionally, as far as the training process, because, I mean, shit, Ryan was pulling the good old John Jones, dude, try to do shit, make, self-destructing before the fight, but then ended up winning the fucking fight.
Yeah, which, by the way, I mean, I said this to you before we started filming, but, like, dude, like, dude, John Jones, like, and he says that, like, oh, yeah, I was out partying the night before, beat DC and all that stuff, and it's like I believe him. I do believe him. I do actually believe him 100%. But it's like I saw with my own eyes Ryan Garcia at nightclubs on Thursday. Like he was drinking and having a good time. Like he did not give a fuck. And he said that apparently a lot of his pre-fight stuff, like all the acting crazy, he said a lot of that was just amplified for the camera. But he's like, I was drinking and smoking my entire training camp. Like I was not doing that. And it's like, dude, maybe that's what he needed. Maybe he just needed to fucking John Jones it out, bro. Like just. Because some guys, like, they try to stay dedicated, and then it just makes them want it more. Maybe him having his vices throughout training camp helped him in the end. You know what I mean? maybe made him feel more relaxed. But yeah, dude, from the promotion to to the weigh-in to the fight, he did whatever he wanted to do. And look, dude, I mean, I am just in awe. Like, I still am in awe because it's one thing for him to beat Devin Haney, and I like if he would have beat Devin Haney, like just knocked him out and be like, oh, okay, you know what I mean, he caught him. It's one thing, but dude, for the last from round 7 onwards, he was beating the dog shit out of Devin Haney.
Devin Haney was holding on for dear life.
Dude, which, by the way, they got to check that fucking referee's DraftKings. They got to fucking see they got to look up and see that make sure he didn't throw a tenner on Haney, bro. Because, I mean, round 7, which, by the way, you call the round 6 knockout for Ryan Garcia, ends up being a majority decision win. Nearly got him out of there in round 7. Knocked him down really bad. And there were 2 more knockdowns, which were, debatable. But the referee...
I'd say one of them was.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't agree with. There was one of them that I thought was way worse than the other. Whenever he was essentially shooting like a double leg and had both knees on the ground, it was just. Anyways, referee was letting him clinch for as long as he wanted, and after 30 seconds in the clinch near the end of the round, Ryan pushed him off and left hooked him. Didn't give him a warning, automatic point deduction. But it's like, dude, if you would have just done your fucking job. And Ryan wouldn't have had to throw him off.
I'm surprised Devin didn't get a big warning for holding and didn't get a point deducted at one point, because it was becoming severe holding. He wasn't wanting to compete anymore. I think any other ref would have probably pulled him apart and been like, "This is your one hard warning. You need to quit clinching. You need to start boxing, because if not, I'm going to take a point away or stop the fight."
Well, I mean, hey man, you can tell that Haney was the house fighter. I'll put it like that. This is what I've talked about whenever people are like, "Oh, Jake Paul fights are rigged." It's like. Yeah, I mean, they're rigged in the same way that every boxing match is rigged. There's a home fighter. Canelo in every one of his fights, essentially. And I mean, you're going to get the benefit of one good scorecard. They're going to get every swing around. Referee's not going to penalize you. Because, dude, Devin Haney was shooting double leg singles. He was getting him in the clinch. He was trying to go for trip takedowns. I mean, he was doing whatever he was doing whatever he could.
I mean, to talk about the boxing aspect of it a little bit more, though, Josh.
Go ahead.
This was not a clean fight by either guy.
Oh, no, not at all. It was a fight, especially from round 7 onwards.
Yeah, Devin Haney obviously needs to go back and fix some stuff. Ryan definitely needs to go back and upgrade some things. But I mean, we also need to take account these guys are 25 years old.
Exactly. Yeah, very young.
They're in their first big fights in their career right now. These guys have 10 more years in this sport, minimum, you'd hope. And they are only going to get better. They're going to get bigger too. They're going to, the body's going to keep changing. Weight cuts are going to get harder. I mean, by the end of their careers, they're not going to be fighting at this weight class, I imagine. It's interesting. I don't know if you run this one back. I'd want to believe Devin Haney would probably come out and do better.
But there's a rematch clause, so
there isn't. But down the line, I'm talking down the line.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm not talking about next. Next, I don't know. Because Devin Haney is, I mean, I'm sure they're going to give Devin Haney some sort of mandatory or something.
Yeah, they're going to give him probably a tune-up fight, I guess.
A little tune-up. Ryan needs to shoot, I guess, relatively high next. I mean, he's coming off a Devin Haney win. He's not holding the titles, but who gives a fuck? You beat the guy.
Dude, yeah, exactly. We talked about this last week, dude. The titles don't make the man. The man makes the titles. And Ryan Garcia might as well be a fucking champion right now. Might as well, for all intents and purposes, he's the fucking unified champion. Is that just the way it works, dude?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean, he might as well be, because dude, what people are gonna get mad at me for this one. I'm gonna say it, Angel. Ryan Garcia right now is the face of boxing. Argue with a wall. I've never seen more attention, because for one fight than this one, and also the Tank fight. And people were like, "Oh yeah, that's because Tank's the face of boxing." I'm like, just because he won doesn't mean he's a bigger draw. Take a look at every single one of his, and he's not bad.
Before you continue, can you clarify to the people what you mean by the face? A lot of people, I feel like a lot of times we make these claims.
Correct. Okay.
People are the face. People are this, the promotion. They're this to that.
Yeah.
Can you kind of clarify that for the people so they understand? Because they might think when you say the face, you might be thinking the best.
Oh no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'll quantify it like this: if you're talking about the face of boxing from a best point of view, I don't even know. But if we're talking about from a promotional pay-per-view standpoint and in terms of being a draw, the only reason why this fight was not doing great in terms of ticket sales until fight week is because nobody was sure that the fight was going to happen. But once they weighed in and everybody, the fight was official and it was going ahead, it was everywhere. People bought it. I don't know the pay-per-view estimate right now, but from what I've heard, it's trending to be very well. He did 1.2 million, I believe, against Tank.
And that's not including Twitter, Instagram interactions, Facebook, whatever you want to call it. Because
correct,
all those posts blew up. There was a lot of people talking about it. A lot of people who you know, that
who aren't boxing fans.
who aren't boxing
And that's
fans.
the main.
Yeah.
That's the main way to tell. If I'm watching, like, if I'll pull up Snapchat, and I don't talk to any of these fucking people like anymore, but people from like high school and shit, in college or whatever, and like I'll see they're watching the fight, and I'm like, that guy's not a boxing fan, but yet he's watching this,
Yeah.
or this girl's not a boxing fan, she's watching it. You know what I mean? Because he draws in people from everybody. He's not only a good fighter, but also he does do the social media thing. You know what I mean? He does that.
Yeah. The only real athlete who does it, like, and I mean at this level, I mean talking boxing side,
At this
MMA side, different story. I think a lot of guys do it on the MMA
for
side.
sure. But like, dude, I mean, he as far as like money wise, I really think he is, and that's the thing. Like, this is like the start of it. He's 25 years old. And he's coming off he was coming off a big loss. I understand he beat Duarte in the middle, but I mean, he had lost a Tank. Everybody was doubting against him. He goes in there and knocks the fucking piss out of Devin Haney.
Beats Devin Haney. Yeah.
Just in like definitively.
But
it's not like, oh, flash knockout.
I know what the next fight is for Ryan Garcia.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
I need the battle of mental illness. Teofimo Lopez versus Ryan Garcia. Give it to me.
I don't think Tio is mentally ill. I think he's just like, I don't even know what I would say.
The battle of being in your mind, if anything.
You know what? Hey, shit, dude. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I'd love to see that fight next, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Teo tunes him up. I think if Teo shows up, Teo probably.
I agree with you because I think
because he's almost getting back to normal. I'd say
Tio, in my opinion, is probably the best of this group of guys. I just think
Tank. Yeah, I think Tank's, so, yeah. Tank's a little older than these guys. I think Tank's almost in his 30s. I think like late 20s.
Yeah. But I think at his peak, like I could see Tank and Teofimo fighting and Tank beating him. But I think Teofimo on his best night,
he beats probably all these guys.
Dude, I mean, you see it. He rises to the occasion. If he's fighting, it doesn't matter if he's fighting Sandor Martin or he's fighting Lomachenko. He's gonna go fucking blow for blow with him. It does not matter because he's just that guy. He's gonna stay competitive.
By the way, does Teo have a fight like announced, or does he have anything prepped?
He had something in the works. I don't know if it ever came to fruition. We're gonna go and pull.
He was gonna fight out. What's his name? The one guy who's like had all those guys quit in the corner, right?
Yes.
I can't even think of his name right now. It's escaping me. I know that guy was one of them.
So he beat Jermaine Ortiz in February. According to he's not signed a deal yet.
It's weird because everybody has something going right now.
Well, we'll see him against Ryan, man.
Can you go to the rankings?
I would love to see that.
Right there. 3, the global ones.
Oh, fuck, dude. Oh, load, please. Okay.
And down a little bit.
Sabrio Matias, I think is who maybe he was.
Yes.
But I remember he was in talks to fight somebody else. Maybe it wasn't Barboza. Can't remember who it was. But
was it maybe Regis at one point? I think prior to the Regis fighting Devin, I think that was a potential fight at one point.
Cletus Sullivan. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who he's going to fight. I mean, I could see... Dude, that's the fun thing for Ryan right now is he can fight whoever the fuck he wants. He could fight Romero. It'd make a lot of money for a relatively... I want to say easy fight because, you know...
To fight Raleigh?
Yeah, Raleigh will...
Isn't Raleigh coming off a loss, though?
Yeah, but dude, it doesn't matter. Like, that's in the position. He could fight anybody and make tons of money.
Dude, I need my boy Isaac Cruz to get that next big fight.
So Ryan said, okay, so he laid out a bunch of opponents.
Oh my God, just like he did what he said, I'm going to fight Linares. I'm going to fight, I forgot who he said after Linares.
John Jones.
No, but I'm saying after he beat Luke Campbell, I loved his call-outs after that. He laid out his fights leading up to Devin Haney, and they were great.
But, so he called out a bunch of people. So for the list as of now, he said he wants UFC Bantamweight champion, Sean O'Malley, which Sean, who could make a lot of money right now, is like, no, I want to build it up. And it's like, dude, I don't even know why you would risk a multi-million-dollar boxing payday.
I think Sean feels like he needs to prove it to the UFC that he deserves that fight.
Yeah, but the UFC would let him do that fight right now.
You think so? I don't know.
I think they would because they know how big of a star Ryan is, and they've already told him.
Right. I think if they realize right now what Ryan just did is like peak, and Ryan is down to do it, they should do it, but they're not going to.
He did an interview yesterday.
If there was ever any better timing, it'd be right now.
Correct. I agree. He did an interview yesterday, literally yesterday, where they were like, okay, he laid it out. He's like, all right, I want Sean O'Malley, who's his number one choice. Apparently that's his number one. And because he knows how big it would be to fight a UFC champion.
He wants to crossover.
He wants to crossover, and he's right. I mean, it would make so much money. And Sean that was a star-making performance if there ever was one against, Aljamain Sterling. And then he followed up with another one against Marlon Vera. I mean,
yeah.
He's right there. I think they should run
I
that.
mean, it makes
one
sense,
from
right?
From a money perspective. They should run it. I don't really give a fuck about that fight. It wouldn't even be. Look, dude. After Ngannou, I don't want to rule anybody out. But,
Josh, just you wait. When Sean O'Malley goes out there and becomes champ, just you wait.
All right, well, we'll see. But anyway, so he said Sean was number 1, and then he said he wants a Tank rematch of 144, which Tank won't tank. I'm just gonna go and say it right now. No fucking way Tank will take that fight. 144.
It's all good, dude. Tank wouldn't fight a new hater.
He said he wants who else? Oh my god, there's somebody else. Oh yeah, he said Terrence Crawford.
Oh, he wants Bud. Holy
and then
shit.
he also wants Sebastian Fundora. Those are the 4 names he has, which are kind of weird, but
that's a very odd group of people there.
It is.
No, actually, the whole group is odd.
He also said he'll fight Boots, but that's not like
he's not looking forward.
He's not like that's not like his number 1.
Yeah, no one's really like hunting for Boots.
Shit, I wouldn't.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just like no one's interested in that fight.
Yeah.
As far as the combatants, I think people want it. Like,
it's a low risk. Not low risk. High risk, low reward type situation
for all the guys in that division.
Exactly.
There's no reason for them to take them on.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know who Ryan's gonna fight next. I think if they want to make the most money, it'll be Sean O'Malley. But I don't know if the UFC will want to do it right now, and I also don't think Sean wants to do it right now because even before Ryan won, he was like, I don't think I'll ever.
I think Sean's like trying to get like heavily ready for a Rob fight.
Yeah, so I get it.
I think he's focused on that fight. Like I think he genuinely is.
But after that, who knows, man? I'm just saying. If they,
like I'm telling you, after Marab, the choices aren't really that like I told you,
they're gonna push Umar.
Fighters want the Corey Sandhagen fight, but it's not like Corey is like this overwhelming like need to fight Sean O'Malley.
Yeah,
and then behind that, Piotr's behind. He needs to build up some wins. Sean's already technically beat him, but there's some controversy.
So he's not coming back until next year probably.
Who else in that? And Umar's far behind, but they need to get him.
But
it's not soon. It's not going to be soon though.
Yeah, they're gonna. I don't know. They're gonna book that Corey fight next, which is just like, dude, just.
And and by the way, this is all saying if Sean does beat Marab.
Yeah, this is all hypothetical.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But look, Ryan Garcia, just to kind of close it out. I mean, phenomenal win. Still in shock. I mean, not even really in shock at this point. It was just like, it was so fucking funny. Like, there are very few nights in combat sports where you come away and you're just like, dude, that was the funniest shit.
By the way, like I said, can you imagine waking up to that? Like I did?
Yeah, dude. Like, yeah. It's like the time who was it? I think it was Bivol fought Canelo. And I remember thinking like Bivol has a pretty good chance of winning. But then I got like the ESPN notification in the middle of the night. Like I was on vacation in Dallas or whatever. And I got up, saw the phone. I'm like, he decisioned him? How bad did he beat his? Because like to beat Canelo, you gotta win nearly every single round to beat him by a decision, And they still nearly gave it to Canelo. It was like 115. No, I'm serious. It was literally 115, 113 right down the middle. I'm like, man, they were gonna fuck him hard.
Do you think if Bivol beats Better Beef, he'll fight Canelo again?
No, I think Canelo wanted that fight hard, and
but it's like, what does Bivol have at that point? Like, he can make money off that.
Bivol said that he was down to do it, but he's like, I need like, you got to give me like more money or something because I've already beaten you. And Canel's like, we'll offer you the same split as last time. He's like, I'm gonna go fight Better Beef. Like, I don't really care.
I'm sure he'll make good money from the Better Beef fight, but you know what I mean. I feel like you could still get like pretty good money from a Canelo fight.
If the Saudis want it, they'll do it. So we'll see.
That's the other thing. The thing is though, Canelo isn't in cahoots with the Saudis though.
No, he is not.
Which is weird because they give Canelo some fat ass money.
They give him a lot of money, but I mean, I think he's just happy.
I mean, they're giving these guys a lot of money, but the kind of money they would give Canelo though.
Some guy, I wonder why he hasn't been involved. Some guys just don't.
I don't think he's needed it. I think he's made a lot of money. Just like I mean, by the way, that just goes to show his ability, right? And the kind of like power he has on the sport. Like he doesn't need the Saudis to get the kind of money he's making now.
Yeah,
I mean, he's probably still the most paid guy in boxing, right? It's probably not even close.
Yeah, not even close. Yeah, I mean, Ryan made a lot of money, but Canelo's still number one. Canelo's still arguably the face of boxing, but I think people are starting to kind of.
I mean, also Canelo's getting to his last few years too.
Exactly, and that's part of the reason why I'm saying Ryan's like the new face of boxing.
He's not in his twilight years yet, but he's getting to that point where
33, I think.
But but it's soon. Like he's gonna have to put it down soon, and I don't know if he's gonna put it down by his own choice, or
you think
by the force of somebody
of the Mexican monster. David Benavidez is going to come through, and no, I don't. I think
if Canelo loses to someone who he doesn't expect to lose, and then does a rematch and loses again, he would probably consider stepping away.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. A lot of potential for. I mean, he's going to fight Munguia, dude. Could you imagine if fucking Oscar De La Hoya has Ryan and then Jaime Munguia defeats Canelo. Dude, it would be the golden boy. We would never see him again for the rest of the year. He'd be on a fucking coke binge for the rest of 2024. And honestly, good for Oscar, you know? Like,
I mean, we already. I don't care. I'll fucking talk about that fight right now. We already talked about that fight privately, or maybe even publicly a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that fight is giving me major like Floyd Canelo fight vibes. Except this time, Canelo is Floyd in this situation. Munguia is Canelo, but Munguia isn't as good as Canelo was at the time that when he fought Floyd.
I think we'll have more success than Canelo had against Floyd, but I think he's gonna get worked.
I think Munguia is gonna get shocked at how great someone can be.
Yeah, and
Munguia is really fucking good.
That's exactly it. Like, I remember whenever they first announced this fight over Bennett, because he was originally gonna fight the other Charlo, and he changed his mind, and then he was like, it's gonna be either Benavidez or Munguia, and he went with Munguia, and everybody's like, oh man, I fucking hate that fight. I'm like, no, Munguia's a dog. It's just
he's young,
and it's too early.
Yeah, and he's already had some trouble along the way.
Exactly.
At the same time, dude, the other weird thing is it's the two probably biggest Mexican boxers in the sport. I mean, who else could you think of that's bigger than those two guys?
Let me ask you a question.
And I'm talking Mexican native. You know, obviously we have Brian, he's Mexican American.
Yeah, I can't remember. Is Benavidez Mexican American or just
he's Puerto Rican Mexican, and I guess he's American because he lives in the States.
Oh, he's Puerto Rican too?
Yeah, I think so.
That's kind of all right.
And that's when you kind of get the divide. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, all right. Well,
I think so. I think he's Mexican Puerto Rican.
Interesting.
He might just be purely Puerto Rican. I could be incorrect here.
I swear to God, he's Mexican.
I think there's a mix there.
But I've seen people not claim him, so that's why I was asking about that.
Yeah,
like, we're gonna find out right now. We're gonna find out right now what ethnicity David Benavidez is.
I believe he's Mexican and Puerto Rican, which is very
kind of odd. You don't see that too often. Okay, so he's American. He's Mexican and Ecuadorian.
That's what it is. I knew it was something else. I said Puerto Rican, but I wasn't sure.
And he was born in Phoenix, Arizona. So there you go.
So
he's Mexican American.
Mexican American with Ecuador, or he's Mexican. He's Mexican Ecuadorian, but grew up in the States.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, yeah. So just to kind of move on for boxing, man. I mean, good for Ryan, man. Good for Ryan. I mean, fuck the DARE program, do drugs, kids, so.
Damn, you didn't have to call him out like that.
I mean, no, you code Soundoff at checkout for ELYXR.com. Go ahead and get started early, ELYXR,
you have to be 18.
No, we're joking. Just for the record, we're completely joking. Actually, we should
in GTA. If you're thinking about it, in GTA.
We're in I believe we're in the not shown to kids category on YouTube anyway. So I mean, I don't know how you got here.
You're telling me this video doesn't go on YouTube Kids?
Actually, I select only YouTube Kids for our podcast to go to.
No wonder we don't have any more viewers.
Anyways, so we're gonna go and move on to news, and all these are gonna be.
No wonder Jake Paul videos do great.
Jesus. So this is we're gonna go ahead and spend, I don't know how long on these, but these are mostly gonna be quick hits. So over the weekend, man, you know what? I love to see a nice vet get a win. And Luke Rockhold, they retired from MMA back after he lost to Paulo Costa in the UFC back in 2022. But you know what? He stayed retired from MMA, but he's like, I'm gonna do other combat sports. He went to BKFC, got his face ruined by Mike Perry. Had to take off a little bit of time from modeling. Came back, signed a karate combat like a month ago. Fought in Dubai against Joe Schilling and knocked him out. I'm sure you saw the highlights. Second round KO, right hook, brutal knockout.
Followed it up on the ground.
Yeah, love to see Luke come back and win, man. What do you make of it?
I mean, good for him, man. At least he's having fun and doing stuff. He said that he wanted to still compete in some capacity in combat or do some other competitions. I just didn't know if he was actually going to do it. So good for him, especially because karate combat's like kind of like this. It's really fucking cool, dude.
Yeah.
Like it really is. Like if you guys haven't checked out any karate combat and you guys want to watch some other form of combat that isn't MMA or, kickboxing, Muay Thai or whatever, grappling, like check out karate combat. You will not be bored at all.
Yeah. And they've also started introducing the jiu-jitsu, like the grappling matches.
Yeah. They had
Craig Jones against, is it Renat Fakhratinov? I believe.
Wait, really? They had
You didn't know about that?
They had him on there versus him? I didn't know that.
I believe so. And he put him to sleep with a triangle.
I mean, I saw that they had Craig on there, but I didn't know it was against our boy Renat.
Don't quote me on that. Let me just double check. Craig Jones Slipknot. Nope, not that one.
Not that Craig Jones.
I don't know how you find stats.
You could probably see it on Tapology.
Oh, shit. Well, let me see. Where's the tap? All right, never mind. We're going to go and do that. Yeah, okay. Anyways, yeah, I mean, Karate Combat's sick, man. I mean, they've had some fun shows. Yeah.
Oh, was it a boy Renat from?
Yep.
Hey, it took him 11 minutes
Yeah.
to sub our boy Evanoff
Yeah.
Rockadino for a guy who is not strictly a grappler.
Yeah.
That is fucking impressive.
Yeah, it really was, man. Raymond Daniels also suffered a loss. Karate Combat, man, really interesting shit they got going on.
You guys
over
remember when Sean Brady beat Craig Jones? Is that on there? Because I'm pretty sure that happened, right?
I believe that did happen. I'll go back. I was just looking at the card real quick. But yeah, I mean, Karate Combat, if you guys haven't watched it, very sick. I mean, they have some fun stuff. Sean Brady.
By the way, you know people shit on that because
2021.
the UFC didn't let Craig do leg locks.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's something people didn't know. I found that out way later. But I'm like, guys, it's not like Craig has all these other tools still to.
It's not like Craig Jones is the one fucking.
He's one of the best submission grapplers in the whole world right now. You're telling me you take one tool away, he's not going to be able to do it with all the others?
Yeah, for sure, man. But anyways, yeah, I mean, that was a fun night. Love me some Karate Combat, man.
By the way, we're gonna get some jiu-jitsu standing here. He's gonna try to like shit on us.
Probably, yeah. We gotta go ahead and move on. Actually, real quick before to close off with Karate Combat, the one thing I will say, they gotta work on their camera work, bro. I mean, the finish shot,
it was so far out
on the broadcast. Yeah, it's like, dude, if you want to do that whenever nothing's happening,
sure.
But that was rough. They even did that during the Craig Jones finish too. It was like he was like submitting him on the ground and they're just panning out. And it's like, bro, I want to see. I don't know what the fuck is happening right now. Like,
you're like, dude, we're not playing a fucking fighting game. We're like randomly like.
It's like Craig Jones has literally got him in a try. It's like he's locking up the triangle as they're pulling the.
Dude, this isn't Tekken. We're not like constantly moving because you know how Tekken kind of goes like that.
Anyways, man. BKFC Knuckle Mania 4, baby, going down. I believe Saturday night, Friday or Saturday. It doesn't really matter. But going down this weekend nonetheless. In the main event, the return of the Platinum one. Mike Perry coming back here facing former UFC title challenger Thiago Alves. Not really like he's faced some really big.
He actually got to fight for the title. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's actually former champion. So
wait, who do you fight?
The current champion. According to this, actually, I don't think he's currently the champion. Never mind, there's no way that's accurate. But Thiago Alves, 2-0 BKFC, former middleweight champion. We know the kind of story here with him. I mean, he's a longtime UFC vet. Mike Perry got some bigger names. He got Luke. He got Eddie Alvarez. He got some other big names in there. Instead, going to be facing Thiago, who's an older name, but on paper, this might actually end up being the best fight he's had in BKFC because Thiago is a dog and has experience, unlike some of the other guys Mike has faced. Yeah. So
he's older though.
40 years old, correct? 40 years old. What do you make about this one, man?
I mean, it should be funny, man, dude. Like Mike Perry, ever since BKFC, every single fight been great. I don't think you expect anything less out of him. You know he's going to show up. You know he's going to be a dog. You know he's willing to go in there and give it all. If it's it's killed or be killed when it comes to Mike Perry and BKFC, which is something you got to appreciate. Because not a lot of guys can make that transition and do what he's done at this level. I mean, he is the face of bare knuckle boxing. Let's be honest. I don't know who else you could say it is. Now, people are probably going to try to argue guys who are like champs, maybe long-standing champs, but it's like, guys, come on. Come on. If we're talking about like the actual face of bare knuckle boxing, we're talking about, we talked about this earlier.
We're talking about Mike Platinum Perry.
We're talking about Mike Platinum Perry. Like, he's the guys bringing in actual viewership into the sport.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy. But like we said it a long time ago, though. When he transitioned over, we're like, look, if there's any guy who can do it off the top of our head, it's going to be this kid.
Yeah, there's nobody better to join BKFC than Mike Perry. And you know what? I think we downplayed how much it was going to work out for him, dude. I mean, I really...
Oh, yeah, it's gone above and beyond, which is great.
I mean, he's knocking out former UFC champions. He beat Michael Page before, Page is in the UFC now in a welterweight contender, which is...
Just beat Kevin Holland.
Yeah, it's actually fun. So Mike Perry, actually, I don't think we talked about this. He talked about how, because we were talking about it a couple months ago before UFC 300, like, could Mike Perry come back? He teased something. He actually came out, like, within the last few weeks, and he's like, yeah, I talked to Hunter Campbell. And he was like,
because he called him mid-podcast.
They talked later, and I guess he was like, yeah, we don't want to sign you. You're not even going to be a top 15 guy. We don't want to have, it's not worth signing you. And I think that kind of pissed him off. So I think Mike Perry's going to go out here and make a fucking statement.
Probably.
And honestly, that is really, I mean, dude, he was a damn near top 15 guy when he left, and he's gotten a lot better. He has his head on straight now. Him and Coach Lattori are
only a dad with their two little ones now.
Yeah,
I think he has 2 kids now.
2 kids now. Hey man, some guys
bought a house, investing. He's doing the right things.
Some guys just need to chill out, man, and have some kids, and it works out. That's not the solution for everybody, but worked out for Mike Perry, man. Should be fun to see him back here. I mean, the rest of this card, I mean, you got, Ben Rothwell, Todd Duffy, 2 UFC vets.
By the way, haven't those guys already fought before?
I don't think so, but maybe. I know Ben Rothwell had.
Weren't they scheduled to fight at one point before and it just didn't happen?
You're probably right. That seems like a fight that would be. Okay, they were already scheduled to fight last year and it got canceled.
That's what I thought.
So there we go. And Todd Duffy, man, I'm surprised of all the guys to go ahead and sign a deal. It's going to be him to sign for this thing. But I mean, Ben Rothwell, he's had 2 wins at BKFC. He's looked pretty fucking good.
By the way, how do you think Big Country would have done in BKFC?
Oh Jesus, dude, he would clean house. I mean, he's already doing well. He's in Gamebred doing good right now.
No, you're not
So,
wrong.
I mean,
By the way, Mike, did you mention Mick Terrell and Lorenzo Hunt?
I did not mention them yet.
That should be a banger.
It should be.
Hunt in the BKFC has been great too.
Yeah, Lorenzo Hunt's one. I think he's probably, if you're talking like an actual homegrown star, he's probably the biggest name I could think of to come out of like a guy that did not fight in UFC or
That
Bellator.
and oh my goodness, why am I forgetting his name? He was a UFC fighter too. He retired in BKFC. Man, why am I blinking on his name? Had like colored hair all the time. Like red colored hair.
I have no idea.
Why am I blinking on his name? I see his face. It's gonna escape me.
Yeah, Lorenzo Hunt, BKFC Cruiserweight champion. 11-1, dude. 11-1.
By the way, like some decent little names in there too.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Riggs, Hector Lombard, Mike Richmond, Chris Camozzi. He's beat some good names. Lost to Joe Pfeiffer and on the regional scene as an MMA
2018, crazy how things work out like that, man.
Yeah, I love me some Lorenzo Hunt, coach of Bryce Hall, I believe. Lorenzo Hunt.
But also on this card, who could ever forget about this guy?
All right,
Let me bang, bro. Julian Lane facing some Russian who I've never seen before.
I do let you bang.
I do let you bang.
Yeah, so he's gonna get fucked up. I mean, Julian Lane has had some fun fights in BKFC. I don't think he's won a single one, and I've heard of his opponent before, Evgeny Kurdanov.
Oh God,
I don't know why.
1-1,
but he's a Russian, so maybe I'm thinking of a different Kurdanov. Okay, yeah, this guy, he's fought a lot in bare knuckle. That's probably why I've heard of him. But I mean, he's got a mixed
He lost his
record.
last one. He lost his last one.
Maybe Julian Lane will come. They're gonna let him.
He
bang.
actually check if Julian Lane's won a single one.
They're gonna let him bang. So Julian Lane.
You don't have to scroll the way. You won't have to scroll the way down. You'll be able to see it with the grouped.
But it fucking froze. And
oh no, never mind.
never mind.
Hey,
he won his last one.
Doctor Stoppage.
That was it. Doctor Stoppage. Yeah, that was his. He has 3 wins.
But a lot of losses.
BKFC. A couple. Yeah,
hey, but he's gone the distance on those losses though. He's not just getting blown out of there.
He's not. But yeah, man. I mean, I'll watch this. I'm more excited for this than the UFC card going down.
Right.
So that's definitely something.
And how much is it going to cost?
I believe he announced David Feldman that this is going to be on their app. It's not even going to be pay-per-view. So as long as you have a dude, I've said this for a while. BKFC,
it's like $20 for a year, or for like a
yeah,
month, or like $10 a month.
It might even be less than that. I haven't paid for it in a minute, but it was like really cheap whenever I did.
And you have full access to all their cards that they've had previously.
Yeah, one of the best deals in combat sports. I'll say that. BKFC,
dude, honestly, W move by them.
Dude, they've really turned into be a much bigger company than I thought they would. You know, shout out David Feldman, man. He's really putting in the work, and all those guys, Mike Perry too, and all that stuff. Since we're talking about other combat sports companies, let's move one down. Cedric Duwambe coming off of the loss to Baki whenever Mark Goddard will let some dudes get murdered in the cage, but whenever there's something in the foot, he's like, no, okay, wave it off immediately, you know. Anyway, Cedric Duwambe lost last time out, got a shard of glass in his toe against Baki, suffered a third round stoppage loss in a fight that was 1-1. First loss in MMA. Really halted his momentum. Well, after that one, he's actually heading to Bellator Champion Series 2 going down in France May 17th. He's supposed to fight former, I believe, not title challenger, but contender Derek Anderson. That fight was canceled a day later because he fucked up his leg in a hit and run accident. So right now, Duwambe still waiting an opponent. What do you make of him making the jump over to Bellator for this one, and also his kind of development? Because the fact that I thought for sure a Baki rematch was next. Instead, he's moving to Bellator, and it's kind of weird.
I guess their whole thought process is the Bellator cards will have other fighters that they know, and they can also put them in there when they go, because Bellator seems like it's going to be overseas, so easier for him. And also, it's not, because it seems like the PFL, like European season, like those guys are trying to get into that tournament, but the European tournament that they're doing. So I guess their whole thought process is they'll be able to develop him more easily in Bellator. Mm-hmm. They're Bellator. I don't know. It's odd. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it is. It's I'd say I don't know their exact reasoning for it, but I want to imagine it's purely just on for development.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how far he can go, man, because he really did have his momentum kind of fucked by that Baki fight, man. And then also, Baki apparently...
By the way, do you think this career would have gone different in the UFC? Like, it'd be a lot quicker?
Yeah. The UFC would... This is how you can tell PFL and Don Davis...
Because he would have already had 2 fights in France under his belt.
Yeah.
Because he was supposed to go the first time, right? The first original time that they went to France.
Yes, correct.
With gone.
Yeah, didn't end up happening.
And then you assume he would have gone the second time.
Yeah,
maybe another fight in between those two.
Yeah,
and then they're gonna go back this year, which would have been another guaranteed probably fight out of him.
Yeah, but dude, you can kind of tell that PFL and Don Davis are new to this thing because it's like the fact that they booked his first fight perfectly, main event of a European show. It wasn't super hyped up, but it went viral immediately. They had all the people there, and I'm like, fuck, dude, they have a homegrown stars. Who are we gonna give him? We're gonna give him one of the best prospects. Who's on a 1-fight deal, by the way. So if this guy wins, if Baki wins, he can just leave for the UFC, which is apparently what happened. We don't know for sure, but apparently that's what's happened.
Which, by the way, it's funny how they're just going back and forth on signings, which is great, though. It's
That's
great for the fighters.
Yeah, Paul Hughes just signed to PFL. Big get for them. Like, good for the fighters.
But the UFC's probably going to go after his nemesis in Cage Warriors.
Yep.
Which I can't even think of the kid's name, but they're probably going to go after that guy.
But nonetheless, man, you can tell PFL's amazing. But it's like, dude, they booked him and like against a really good guy in like on a 1-fight deal. Like, you should have just given him a scrub, bro. Put me in there against Duambe, man. Like, you really don't. They
probably could have signed some random Cage Warriors guy to like 3-fight deal and thrown him in there.
I mean, they were giving him Derek Anderson, who I thought was a perfect opponent, a guy who's gonna stand with him and
has experience.
Yeah, but like not great on the ground. So like if he took him down, we'll see what happens. But hopefully they just give him a scrub. Honestly, if I'm Bellator, I'm giving Cedric Duambe the worst opponent of all time. Get the hype train back on the tracks. You know what I mean?
It's hard, right? When you get these guys who transition from other sport, you got to give them difficult enough fights where they're learning, but also to the point where they're also not just getting them out of there and not gaining anything. Yeah. So when they do get to those championship caliber fighters or those ranked fighters or whatever you want to call them,
yeah,
they have built up some sort of whatever in the other places they don't know.
Yeah, for sure, man. So it's really just a matter of building them up.
Because what weight class is Duambe in?
170.
Fuck. Well, dude, 170 and the UFC, if he would have been in the UFC, you have all those guys. I mean, there's so many good grapplers.
Yeah. So it's probably a good thing he did go to PFL and Bellator.
But granted, though, who knows? Maybe he would have developed well enough where he could have improved that aspect of the game. But granted, we've seen, one Frenchman be taken down to the ground who was great on his feet, his struggles. So you can only imagine what could happen. But granted, I feel like respectfully, Duambe's stand-up is on a different level compared to Gon's from what we've seen.
Yeah.
And Gon's stand-up is great, but
Yeah, but nonetheless, man. I mean, we'll see what happens here. We got to see who his opponent is before we really, get too deep into it.
But that's not the biggest event that we're going to be talking about today, Josh. Because the real biggest event we're going to be talking about is the one that's coming up next.
Yeah, of course. We talked about Misfits Boxing a couple of weeks ago, and I don't want to say we shit on him, but we kind of shit on a couple of different things, like the tag team elements and the handicap matches are just, they've lost me completely.
They're becoming the WWE.
But they've made some moves and they've announced some fights where it's like, it looks like they're getting back to normal. And like, hey man, I'm all for it. Misfits 14 was announced earlier this month. Going to be going down, if I can find the date real quick, May 11th, London, England, 2 weeks away. It's going to be with the return of Salt Poppy, Super Salt Poppy, who we know the story here. He looked like he was on the verge of becoming a really big star for the company. And they put him up against Anthony Taylor and stole the momentum. Came back, had a banger fight, but ended up losing in the end to Slim. Coming back here against a MMA fighter, Amadeus Ferrari. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing the name.
Solid.
6-5 in the cage, 1-1 as a boxer. I see what they're going for here. They're trying to be like, yeah, Salt Poppy, he beat a real fighter. Which, I mean, it's not
they're
like
going the Jay Paul route now.
That seems what they're doing. Polish guy. He fought not KSW. He fought in Fame,
which is like another decently sized promotion there, I believe.
Correct. Out in Europe. So that's an interesting fight. And then on the undercard, they actually got some good names. Julie Polka taking on Barbie, who
finishing that whole tournament finally.
Correct. About damn time. Like both those girls, a lot of fun. King Kenny coming against Adam Brooks should be fun. You know, there's some other fights on there. I mean,
they have
it's
some
okay.
other profile names on this card. The people that maybe the opponents aren't necessarily the most interesting, but they have their names there that they want.
Correct. But the even bigger announcement, Misfits 15 going down just 2 weeks later, May 25th, NRG Arena, Houston, Texas. Elle Brooke, the current women's middleweight champion.
In Misfits.
Taking.
Gotta be clarified.
Yeah, no, she's not a fucking WBA champion.
WBC.
Shit, I mean, look, with how women's boxing is.
I mean, Josh, you know what the BC is for this and that belt.
So we got, she's taking on Paige Van Zant, 12 gauge Paige Van Zant. She said she was coming back for a fight a couple months ago.
She's going to give Elle Brooke 12 gauges, I'll tell you what.
We never found out who she was going to be fighting. In the end, it's going to be Elle Brooke in a 5-round boxing
Holy shit.
match.
She's actually going to be taller than one of her opponents for once.
I know. Good for her, man.
Because she's very short.
They're both very short. And then we also have Le'Veon Bell taking on Tristan Hammond, the co-main cruiserweight fight.
He's back.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell, former Chiefs running back Le'Veon Bell, coming back here. Didn't do shit for us, but he's coming back. What do you make about all these announcements, man? I'll give Misfits props, man. I really did not like a lot of the moves they made for the last year or so. These are two very good cards they've announced here.
By the way, another thing you didn't even mention. This could be at Energy Arena in Houston, Texas. I just saw that. Holy shit. Yeah. For one, I guess this kind of goes to show the kind of how they value Elle Brooke as far as in their promotion.
Yeah.
And credit to Elle, right? Because as far as her promoting herself, whatever your opinion is on how she does it, she gets eyes on herself. You know, she gets attention to this to this shit show. You know,
and I'll give her credit.
She's entertaining.
Mean, she's entertaining, and she's knocking girls dead. I mean, she's gotten some big knockouts.
She's willing to come forward, give one, take one, in and out of the cage.
What are we? What is this? The Angel Ortega hour? What the fuck are we doing here?
I couldn't help myself.
Cracking dick jokes for fucking 90 minutes. What are you doing?
It's just too easy.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
I mean, at the same time, though, you know, Paige herself too. You know, with her.
Yeah. So it's I mean, yeah. At this point, Paige Van Zandt is known more for OnlyFans than her fighting.
She's actually making like a crazy amount of money.
She is making an insane amount of money. She came out. She's like, yeah, day one, I made more than my entire UFC run.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So I believe her.
Good for her, though.
Yeah, and this is an interesting fight.
Make your money, man. I ain't judging you for that.
This is a winnable fight, too. I mean, I don't think she'll win. But
yeah, I mean, she lost to Rachel Ostovich.
Which just shows you.
Rachel Ostovich in her MMA career was nowhere the like high level of stand-up fighting.
Paige worked her in their fight, in the first fight back in the UFC, back in 2019. And then they fought in BKFC, and I'm like, okay, they literally, BKFC gave that one, like, all right, promotable fight, the Paige, this is just super winnable. You already beat her once, worked her once. Got worked by Rachel Ostovich. So it's just like, man.
By the way, shout out Rachel Ostovich for coming back and doing that. By the way, it's crazy that they didn't keep Ostovich around either.
No, well, Ostovich has gotten pregnant. That's why.
And then also, Ostovich is, I think, also found other business.
Also doing I mean, Jesus Christ.
But I think she's also made, like, brands and stuff. So credit to her for, like, taking, like, building other business ventures along the way because...
Yeah, I will say this much. It's a funny thing. So a lot of you guys that know me personally, I would cover like fights like for Invicta, which is an exclusively women's promotion.
I forgot Ostovich fought there.
So she did fight there. So did Paige. So did basically every
every relevant UFC fighter.
If you can think of them and they're a woman, they probably fought in Invicta.
Nunes fought there?
Huh?
Nunes fought, right?
Yeah, Nunes fought there.
Cyborg at one point had one?
Cyborg, multiple shows.
Yeah.
For a long time. But anyway, so half of them are in the UFC. The other half are doing OnlyFans, and there's no in between. Yeah. No in between. That's it.
I mean, what's her name who got cut? Who was like 6-4 now or 6-5? What was her name? Who got cut she was really young, like 21, 22.
Kay Hansen.
Kay
Hansen was one where I'm like, hey, dude, this girl, she was like my age, like scoring like come from behind. I'm like, dude, if this girl continues on her trajectory, she's going to be good.
Now she's scoring different stuff from behind.
Yeah. She got in the UFC like at like 21, and I'm like, dude, like, I'm not her. I mean,
is she been fighting in the regional scene at all? I don't even think
she had an injury, so she's been out, and I don't know if she'll come back.
You know, I knew.
I said 3 women from Invicta are going to be future UFC like contenders. I said Erin Blanchfield, and you guys can look this back up from shit I wrote. Erin Blanchfield, Miranda Maverick, Kay Hansen, knocked it out of the park on 2 of them. The other one just like
But I was gonna
Fuck,
say,
man.
dude, I'll never forget when
She's
I went
still
on
young though.
when I went on Twitter and I saw Kay post something on her Twitter, and I don't even follow Kay. It just popped up randomly, and it was like, guys, if you guys go to my OF page right now and message me, I'll play Call of Duty for you for I don't know how much, and I was like, damn.
Make your money, man.
I was like, well,
Hey, we'll get Kay on here one day. I'll be like, hey, how much do you make from this shit?
a lot. I hope.
Yeah, it is funny though, because like I try to like support the fighters that like I did kind of meet in the Invicta days, and she's one of them. She follows me, and it's like I want to support her, but also it's like she's just posting shit like that all the time. So
She's not even like fighting anymore.
No. But you know what? Hey, she'll come back. She said she's gonna fight. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, as far as closing out this Misfit stuff, yeah, excited to see it.
I think it'll be a fun fight. I think these girls will actually put on a good show in the main event.
Yeah, happy to see Salt probably back too. We got two quick things to go and hit on the way out, man. We got boxing fight announcements. Terrence Crawford moving up in weight officially to fight for, I believe, a WBA interim belt against Israel Mamedov. Israel? I'm not sure you pronounce it. Apologies. Not the country, a man. Israel Mamedov.
You just got demonetized.
Anyway, so is but also in the co-main event, the return of a former champion, Andy Ruiz, is finally getting his Saudi payday. He's talked about
Let's
it.
go, champ. Let's go, champ.
He's been waiting for a big one. He's coming back here. And by the way, a very winnable fight, too. He's going to be facing Jarrell Big Baby Miller.
Big steroid baby Miller.
Big Baby, who was arrested for, like,
holy shit, I didn't know that.
carjacking and theft, like, a week after he lost to Daniel Dubois. But I guess they're like, fuck it, dude. You know what?
Yeah.
They dropped they dropped the charges. So
what if they bailed them and paid that all off? Like whoever made whatever section.
Turns out His Excellency's just a huge Big Baby fan. He made the call. He's like, hey,
dude. I mean, they definitely have
Heard
the money
about
to take
Khashoggi?
care of all of that.
yeah, probably. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, dude. Shout out, Andy Ruiz getting that Saudi payday. This fight's actually be happening, I believe, in like a soccer stadium in LA, like the LA Galaxy, I think.
Oh shit, their stadium.
Yeah,
Or LAFC, one of the two.
Yeah, so they're gonna be fighting there. Saudi promoted show. Happy for all these guys.
They're not gonna fill up that place.
No, they're not, but that's okay. I also think Leo Santa Cruz is on the undercard.
Actually, they might get it decently full.
Yeah, I mean, they probably will. I mean,
I'll be shocked if they have a sellout crowd.
I'd be shocked if they have a sellout. I think they'll do well though.
Yeah,
Crawford and Ruiz. Those are two big names.
yeah.
And it's a great storyline too, because Jarrell Miller was the one set to fight AJ
Right.
in June of 2019, and then he tested for everything behind the fucking pharmacy counter, and I got pulled from the fight, and then in stepped Andy Ruiz on 2 weeks' notice and shocked the world.
Shocked the world.
Shocked the
Craziest moment.
So Jarrell Miller, hey, shout out you, man.
Dude,
You made Andy
that's up there
Ruiz's
too.
life.
One of my craziest sports moments ever. Now that I'm thinking about it too, that we didn't bring up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean it's an all timer. I mean, there's a reason. I mean,
Watch that live.
he was the Tyson odds. What were Tyson odds? It was like 45-1 or 43-1 or something. I want to say Ruiz was 20-1. So just to give you perspective,
Nice.
Tyson against Buster Douglas is what I should say. But yeah, man, I mean, excited to see him come back. It's been long overdue. He hasn't fought since a win over Luis Ortiz, and I want to say November of 2022.
Fuck, 2 years.
2 years almost. So excited to see him back.
Will it be
anyways.
2 years by the time that fight does happen?
No, this fight's going down August 3rd.
Oh, okay.
So close to 2 years though. But nonetheless, other fight announcement, not fighting announcement, excuse me. Event announcement. UFC 304 officially going down in Manchester.
Josh, we can make assumptions,
Yeah. I mean, I already reported it by bjpen.com. That's by your
I already know the main card, Josh. This would be Tom Aspinall main event, Leon Edwards co-main event, both 5-rounders, Patty Pimlet on the main card.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Against Money Moicano.
Oh, please.
Molly McCann on the undercard.
Yeah.
Mohammed Makayev on this one too. I mean, Josh, super predictable.
Super, very predictable. As of now, the main event is expected to be Tom Aspinall defending against more than likely Curtis Blades. I guess because Cyril Gane did not turned it down. And then Leon Edwards taking on Bilal Muhammad in the co-main. Long overdue for Bilal Muhammad. Leon Edwards' head coach said yesterday, he's like 99% sure it's Bilal. Long overdue. I don't think he'll do well in that fight. But look, dude, hey, we talk about maximum chaos with Ryan Garcia. Dude, if Bilal Muhammad becomes UFC welterweight champion, it'll be one of the funniest results all year. Because all the shit people have talked.
Because the UFC doesn't want, for one, the UFC doesn't want it to happen probably.
Dude, if Bilal Muhammad becomes UFC champion, I don't even know why they hate him so much. Like, they've had worse guys become champion, but like,
hey man, if it happens, it happens. It is what it is. There's nothing wrong. He earned it. Dude.
killer's row.
Dude,
of guys,
dude, that is a damn near like Kamaru Usman win streak. It's probably comparable.
But dude, you don't get it, bro. Like Kamaru, like he cleaned out the division like twice, dude. Like didn't you see he fought Colby and then he fought Colby again, and then he fought Colby and like and he fought Masvidal and then he fought Colby again. Like he cleared out the division. No, I mean look, jokes aside, Bilal Muhammad, dude, he's on a fucking just a tear. Gilbert Burns, Sean Brady, Luque, Wonderboy, Maya. No contest.
All of those ranked opponents.
Yeah, no contest against Leon Edwards. Diego Lima, Lyman Good, Takashi Soto, Curtis Millender. Lost to Jeff Neal. Before that, he beat Chance Caltre, Tim Mean, Jordan Mien, Randy Brown. Like the guy's been fucking like
he's earned his position.
Yeah, it's long overdue. Happy to see they're finally giving it to him. More than likely.
By the way, I was kind of a dipshit there. I just kind of went to the card. But who do you think ended up being on this England card? Obviously,
jokes aside, every single person you said. I think it's gonna be. So if I had to guess, we're gonna get Tom Aspinall, Curtis Blades. That's not confirmed. That's my guess. Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad 2. We're gonna get Paddy Pimblett against maybe Money Moicano,
Matt Frivola,
Drew Dober. There's a lot
of those guys.
Somebody on the top 15 or the outskirts of it.
Just barely at it. Carlos Diego Ferreira.
Yep. That's possible too. I think we're
Joel Alvarez? Question mark?
No, they wouldn't do that one. That's a very low. That's a very high risk low.
Hey,
reward.
Joel Alvarez was, I think, at one point ranked.
He
15.
was ranked. He was at one point, but I believe Saryuki and he bludgeoned him.
Joel Alvarez might not make weight though. So
that's a very good point. We're gonna have Molly McCann against
someone.
There's Randa Marcos in the UFC. She's like a perfect opponent. No, maybe Jillian Robertson or something. I don't know. Like.
I'm trying to think if there's any other English fighter I'm forgetting. Leroy Murphy probably in single capacity.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have him. We're going to get Makayev against Amir Albazi.
Mick Parkin maybe on this one too.
Mick Parkin. I like that one.
Heavyweight.
Yeah.
In England.
Anyways,
I think it'll end up being a good pay-per-view actually.
I agree with you.
But Josh, that's not even the biggest part of that. Can you tell the people what time that card will be going down for all the English fans?
Oh, yeah. All the UK fans out there. I know you guys are really excited about having a pay-per-view. I know that they've actually been doing pay-per-views at odd times. You know, they're in the Middle East, so they'll start it at 3 and they'll have them at 4 or whatever it is, early in the day.
But what time will people have
Sorry, UK fans. Fuck you. The main event's going to be going down at 4 a.m. your time, dude. Actually, no, that's not even the math on that.
No, that's
it'll be like 5 a.m. your time. They're going to start it at a normal pay-per-view time. The UFC said, fuck you.
Really? I thought they were going to start like at 3 a.m. or something like that.
Like the main card's going to start at like 3 a.m.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like they're going to they are willing to move it for other countries, but they said, fuck UK fans, we don't give a fuck.
I don't know why. It's very odd to me because there is a time slot where it could work for both. It would end up being a little early in the US, but
you know what? They just don't care. I think that's it. They just don't give a fuck.
Dude,
I think the UK
dude, it's a fucking Saturday day. Like people are either going to be off or not be off.
Yeah, it's stupid. I think they should just it doesn't even benefit anybody because it's like I don't think like if the UFC started their pay-per-view like it's 7 p.m. instead of 9 p.m. it would make any material fucking difference. I really don't think it would.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Maybe I'm not, educated and go to the school of fight business, So
yeah.
Anyways, man,
I'm sure they probably do have some numbers and metrics they try to base it off. Like I will say that.
Yeah.
There probably is some data, but
it's probably the math involved. I'm sure there's a lesson to be learned here. I'll be damned if I know what it is. I don't know how it works.
But it is weird though that there is a possibility to accommodate for both sides of the globe. And granted, someone's going to end up getting the short end of the stick, whether it's oceanic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
People in whatever, and I guess that's those countries, Japan, Korea, Australia, whatever it may be.
It's like, why even go there if you're gonna just fuck with the time? Like, it's like, why because for those UK fans, they could just not. I mean, I'm sure they'll go and they'll have a fun time. And they were rocking for 204, which is the last pay-per-view where they had where the time was fucked up. I want to say so.
Let me shout out them right for showing up at those times.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, that's all I got though, man. We'll see how it goes. Any closing thoughts on that subject or anything else we want to talk about?
Man, you don't know how excited I am to come back and talk next week about UFC 301 going down in Rio de Janeiro. The return of the King of Rio, Alexander,
Vitor Petrino coming back here against fucking the actual King of Rio, Anthony Smith.
Whoa, Kobe Covington.
Anyways, man.
No, but it'll be fun to talk about that. It isn't the most stacked pay-per-view, but
there's card.
But there's a lot of fun fights. There's a lot of fun fights. I think there is some quality there. It's better than this one, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's better than this week's card. Respectfully to all the guys on this card.
Yeah, no offense.
But and also a championship fight, man. You never know. We could have some magic happen on that night. Main event, Steve Erceg for that one. For those who don't know, Pantoja crossed with the belt.
Astro Boy, Steve Erceg gonna win the belt.
Yeah, coming. I wouldn't say coming in on short notice, but coming in on last minute,
like 5 weeks, 4 weeks. Like they really scrapped this thing together.
Yeah, they scrapped it together. But Pantoja has had about at the same time to prepare for whatever opponent they were going to hand him. So,
correct. But
it is what it is.
We'll see, man. That's all I got. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm at Josh Evanoff on Twitter, at Angel Ortega _01 at Courtside Sound for all things relating to the show. Hope you guys enjoy this video and enjoy the podcast as a whole. That's all we got. Peace and butt grease. No mouse click.